Avatar: The Last Airbender is not only one of the greatest animated shows of all time, it's just one of the best shows in general. Like, if I can make love to any TV show, it would be this one. Okay, that sentence was a little weird. What I'm trying to say is that this show is amazing. From the story, to the characters, to the animation, it is just so good. And you should definitely check it out when you have the chance. It's on Netflix right now, so definitely go see it. Just too bad there's nothing else that's Avatar related on Netflix. You know what, man? I think I'm just fine having the show. I'm okay with that. That's right, today I'm talking about The Last Airbender movie because I guess I just hate myself. If you go up to any Avatar fan and ask them what they think about The Last Airbender movie, they'll most likely have negative things to say, and honestly, I can't blame them. It is a really bad movie, but is it really as bad as everyone says it is? Yes. But is it really worth getting angry over it? To be honest, I don't really think so. Don't get me wrong, this movie is bad. It's as bad as everyone says it is. It is one of the worst TV show to movie adaptations I have ever seen. And even like someone who, like, even if you came into this movie not as a fan, it would still be really bad. But going into the movie, I was already expecting bad because I've already heard all the complaints. So going in, I was expecting garbage, and what I got was garbage. But not garbage that made me really, really angry. Just garbage that I was like, okay, well yeah, that was pretty bad. Like, for starters, the movie is incredibly forgettable. Like, I'm surprised about how much I forgot about this movie. Like, everybody knows, or at least most people know, the synopsis of the show, Avatar: Last Airbender. There were 4 nations, Earth, Water, Air, and Fire, and some people have the ability to bend those elements. And basically, the 4 nations lived in harmony and peace until one day the Fire Nation attacked, and the only person that can stop them is the Avatar. And it's up to the new Avatar, Aang, the Last Airbender, to stop them. And, like, that's the show right there. It's like, that's basically the intro of the show. And the movie follows that plot. It follows the same plot as the first season. And I can tell you what happened in the first season of Avatar: Last Airbender by heart. And this movie, I cannot. I literally forgot everything, which is so weird because I remember everything about the first season of the show, which this movie follows, and yet I don't remember anything that happened in this movie. It is that forgettable. I can't believe it's like almost impossible to believe so. And the characters, oh my god, they did the characters horribly in this. Like, I'm not just gonna go ahead and say why they're not like the characters in the show at all, which they are not, but like, let me look at this as just like a normal moviegoer. The characters would still be boring in this because they have no emotion. They don't emote at all. They are bland and uninteresting, which is weird because, like, again, I'm going into fan mode now. In the show, they were so interesting. They had different personalities. They had like comedy here and there. Like, they got rid of the comedy in this movie. I don't even think there's a single joke in this. Or, you know, it's just like it's just not funny. And like, yes, I know, like, there was a serious story in Avatar: Last Airbender, but another big part that a lot of people seem to like is the comedy, because the show is funny, and in this they got rid of the humor, which basically gets rid of a big part of what made Avatar so good. And like Sokka, they did him terribly. In the show, he's like a wisecrack, you know, like he was a funny guy. Yes, he was a warrior, but he still, like, you know, told a joke here and there because he was a funny guy. But in this one, he's not funny at all. He's not funny in the movie. He's so bland and boring. He's just so uninteresting. He's like all serious. Like, I don't want to hang out with this guy. And Zuko, they did him terribly too. Like, in the show, he was like a tragic tale, like about this prince who was banished by his father, and like he has to bring back his honor or something. I'm not good at explaining, but the point is, Zuko was interesting in the show, but in the movie, they didn't do him good. And in the show, he had like a scar, like his father burned him on the face, and in this one, I didn't even see it. Like, I think he had a scar, but it was like so hard to tell. It looked more like he had like a kind of bad sunburn that you could probably put some cream on and it'll go away. It just wasn't good. The characters are not good. They are really bad, and they're just uninteresting, and they have like no emotion in the movie. Just, wow. And the effects, they were fine, I guess. Nothing really to write home about. I don't remember how they look like, which kind of adds to the forgettability about the movie. I don't remember how they look like. I kind of slightly remember how Momo and Appa look like. They look kind of disgusting. In the show, they were like cute. They were like, oh yeah, I want a plushie of that. But in this, I don't want a plushie of the Momo and Appa in this movie. They look kind of gross from what I remember. And like I said, effects, I mean, they weren't, like I said, they weren't that great, but nothing terrible either. Like, you know, it's just, I don't know what else to say. They're pretty okay. Like, it didn't make me go like, wow, this fire bending, oh my god, it's so good, oh, I'm gonna afford it. Nothing like that. It's just okay. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about the effects. Or there, I guess. And I know what you're thinking, David, these all sound like really terrible things. This movie should make you super mad, and you're right. When I say this stuff out loud, it's kind of making me a little bit more angry. But what I remember is that when it's put all together, you got a forgettable story, forgettable characters, and forgettable effects. When you put that all together, it's just forgettable. I don't remember much about the movie. Like I said, I don't remember anything that the character said. I don't remember anything that happened in the story. I don't remember how the effects looked like. So I guess it didn't really make me angry because I kind of forgot it all. And the show is not forgettable. Like, trust me, when you watch, even if you just watch it once, you'll remember everything. You'll want to keep watching it again and again. And that's the thing. This movie will never ruin the show because this movie is forgettable, it's bland, it's boring. And like I said, people will forget it. In fact, I think most people have forgotten it already. It's mostly known as the, oh yeah, remember that bad Last Airbender movie? It's pretty bad. Anyway, the show is so good. It's like that. The show will always be remembered for how great it is, for its great characters, interesting story, and amazing anime-style animation. Just so good. You have to watch it. And when you do not watch this movie because it is pretty bad. But honestly, it's not really worth your time anyway. So that's kind of all I have to say about the Last Airbender movie. And what else do I have to say? I don't know because I don't remember a single thing that happened in it.